That didn't take long for some form of error.
Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay. Hello, and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Billy Bob Thornton.
Do you know what's particularly annoying about the what just happened?
There was no audio?
Yeah, because I hadn't turned the mics on because I didn't think that would happen. There's no audio of us just both going, ooh.
Oh, that was so funny. That probably tickled me.
It was probably funnier for us here than it was anyone watching.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because we got the audio. Yeah.
Well,
absolutely, and it's deeply upsetting. That is maybe we just need to add it in post,
or just go back and record it like.
Ooh. People do that.
ADR.
It's people's entire jobs. Yeah, exactly. It's people's entire jobs to make it sound like someone's doing footsteps on a cobble beach.
Rich said it was funny there too, but you didn't get the U. So.
Yeah, you didn't get the U.
I forgot the U. And we wonder why we're not successful.
Yeah, because this is fucking comedy gold, unlike the fucking wank I see online lately. Jesus, don't get me started. That fucking thick screenshot I sent you the other day.
You're gonna have to specify.
Oh, that's true. Mr. Matty Plays being like, Xbox can bring all these games back now that they have Activision. That Activision don't fucking own, you utter clown. And you're a professional in this industry. Jesus Christ, aren't you useless? The industry is so useless that these are the people that Colin hired.
We're doing the video game show after this.
Yeah, but that's specifically about Assassin's
Yeah, but we can
Creed.
have
this
the video
is just
game.
me getting
This
angry.
is specifically about Shang-Chi. It's further away. We don't have a Shang-Chi game, regrettably. We should do.
We absolutely should.
That's one of the few.
Although I would argue it would just become an Arkham game again.
Yeah, but you could make it cool as fuck.
You could.
Do you remember the old? It was a PS2 game, the Jet Li game.
No. Do you know what game it should be like though? Even with the slow motion and all the wind stuff, it should just basically be the path of Neo. But
yeah.
But
yeah,
with him instead.
For sure.
Or we can just get him to fight Neo or John Wick. Do you know what was the most? Despite the fact that it was a shit movie, the thing that annoyed me the most about The Matrix 4. I don't mean that.
I haven't actually seen that still.
Yeah, don't bother. Is the fact that they didn't get rid of his hair or beard.
Oh, I
he
see.
just went in as John Wick as opposed to
as Neo.
As opposed to Neo.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that really annoyed me.
What was that Jet Li PS2 game called?
I don't know. Stranglehold.
I don't think it was. That doesn't sound like what it. Rise to Honor is what it was called.
That's very different to Stranglehold.
And I remember, by today's standards, it's shit. But I remember at the time.
Yeah, but so it's part of Neo.
No, Rise to Honor. There may have been a game called Stronghold. Not aware of it. Not the one I'm thinking of. Rise to Honor is what I'm thinking of. And the Kung Fu controls was just with the right stick. You just aimed the right stick towards the person you wanted to fight. And then he would just do generic Kung Fu fighting towards them.
I hate it.
Yeah, but at the time, it felt smooth as fuck. And then there was this level where... We'll talk about Shang-Chi in a minute. There was this level... There's a vague reference. There's a vague link between Jet Li and Shang-Chi, I guess.
Is that racist?
No, it's a Kung Fu thing. It's racist if you make it racist. Like anything, to be fair. But there was this cool level where you had to escape a hospital, and then the set piece was he jumped onto a hospital trolley thing, like a hospital bed thing, and pushed himself wheeling down the corridor at full speed for quite some time with 2 nail guns that were your weapons, and firing with these 2 nail guns. It was like a reverse on-rail shooter thing. It was really cool at the time.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a scene out of a Chow Yun-Fat movie. Do you remember Chow Yun-Fat?
I do remember Chow Yun-Fat.
He was...
Bulletproof Monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably his worst movie,
and,
but also
he was also that guy in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Chow Yun-Fat was in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, in Dead Man's Chest, he's at the beginning. He's the Chinese pirate. Or Chinese? I think it was Chinese, yeah. Yeah. that makes Keira Knightley take her clothes off. Understandably.
Released on the 3rd of September 2021 with a budget of $200 million and a worldwide gross of a criminal $432,243,292.
Yeah, that's not enough dollar.
That is not enough dollars. For
brief intersection, Rich has sent me a picture of Stranglehold, but that's John Woo.
No, that's
not
racist.
Jet Li, and it even says it on the box, Rich. It says John Woo presents Stranglehold. See? But I do remember that. Anyway, carry on talking about Shang-Chi.
John Woo did one of the Chow Yun-Fat movies I was thinking of, I think. I could be wrong again. Maybe this is just a let's be racist movie.
We're doing well tonight.
Did I just send you a message?
No, this is a different Jack. I don't know who this is. I've just been entered into a stag chat. Yeah.
Leave it. No one's worth a stag do.
Deal with that later. And yes, that is Hayden.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I knew that as well.
It's yes, criminally low.
Criminally low. Yeah. I agree. That should be way higher.
But this is now at that point where people were falling off Marvel because this had come out when we'd had Black Widow, which is a fine film, and the TV shows weren't being overly well received, so people were falling off them.
It definitely wasn't as bad. I don't think people were falling
off. Oh, it gets
worse.
worse.
I don't think people were quite off the movies yet. I just think we were still in this weird space.
We were in that weird COVID area.
Yeah, and this was just after. I also think that because this was just after they had gone, oh, here's a big movie. People have gone, I don't want to go to cinema. It's also on Disney Plus. Oh, so I imagine people were also like, oh, this will be on Disney Plus imminently.
Mm-hmm.
And imminently, I might be getting rid of that wank as well. Fucking streaming services, and they're demanding money and telling me what I can and can't do with my email and password. You motherfucking greedy motherfucking bastards. I don't like them. Do you know what the best news ever was? Mike Flanagan has left Netflix and has gone to Prime.
It's not good for Prime.
How?
Wait.
Not good for Netflix.
Yes, sorry, not good for Netflix.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I want Netflix to struggle with these decisions that they're making.
Yeah. I think they probably are and will.
Yes, I reckon Netflix has started to go. And with its decision, because it's since that price rise and the password sharing thing, they've upped the price again.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
To which people have just gone, nope. They're losing more and more people, which is making them respond with, let's make it more expensive.
Yeah. I'm less bothered about the Disney Plus one because Disney Plus is on all the time. There's so much content on there that we both watch. So we will happily still get our money's worth from it. And the password sharing thing doesn't really affect us because although there's a few people with accounts on there that use it, like with Netflix, it was like at this point, we're barely even using it, and it's going to be a faff to allow these people to continue on using it. I'm just going to get rid of it. Whereas with Disney Plus, it's like we're using it enough where I'll still keep it, and these moochers can go if needs be.
Oh yeah, it's more of a principle thing.
That's fair enough.
Because I was the account holder on all accounts.
Yeah.
So with Netflix and Disney Plus, like I'm not mooching off of anybody.
Yeah.
The world is mooching off of me. Although which may have to stop if things don't change around my life very imminently. But it's more just like you're charging all of this money. Disney Plus, I don't think there's stuff on there, but pretty much all the Marvel stuff I own.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So I just wouldn't get the IMAX versions of it, which, considering how little I'm gonna watch it, doesn't really matter. Or I use Disney Plus in a way of I'll watch something on it because it's there and I have it.
You're not getting the big benefit I have from Disney Plus is obviously because of Dolby Vision. I get that side of it, so I get the improved quality, which obviously you're not having as well. Yeah. So like you've got the different perspective on it. But we use Disney Plus a lot. Use it that much. That's fair. Yeah, it's on all the time for us. Like it's just
I don't use it that much. It's just, I don't really use any of the streaming services that much. Not enough to justify these constant price hikes.
Increases.
Like Disney Plus has nearly doubled.
Yeah.
And that's fucking mad. Netflix charges you extra for 4K, despite the fact
that's ludicrous.
that Disney Plus is now adding ads,
Mm-hmm.
and the way they worded the way they're doing
Isn't
ads
that
is
on a
really.
lower price tier though?
But they've also said there will be like endemic stuff on the higher tier.
I
But-
don't mind so much if it's endemic.
But the way they're wording it is the way I think it already, like they're wording it really strangely, but I think it's what it already is, in that they're advertising the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
They've got the featured bar at the top
Yeah.
and things like that. It will suggest stuff to you at the end of a program. Things like that is what I think it means, which is obviously fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you not do that in any level? It's not like it's going like you're getting an ad for fucking yogurt
Yeah.
or something at the top. And having ads on anything you pay for should be against the law.
Fair.
I think so. Even if it is a lower price tier, like ITVX know how to do it. You can watch it with ads. It's free,
Mm-hmm.
or you can pay to have it without ads. That's how it fucking should be. But here we are. There's nothing on that. I've been. There's 2 shows this year that I've watched from Netflix, quite back to back actually. Didn't use Netflix though, did I? I took a leaf out of took a leaf out of Jack Sparrow's book.
Kind of works. I know what you're getting at. Pirate. Arr. Anyway, should we do Shang-Chi?
Yes. Let me whip up my notes.
I'm really enjoying the note comparison thing, although
I think it's just a way to keep on top of everything.
it is, but it's quite enjoying to me. I don't have
What?
Oh my god!
It's £17 here.
It was so loud. That was so.
Let me get you some 2018. Let me get you some Shed clips, and we'll talk about loud.
I've not heard you shout that loud since Shed. I don't think.
So that upset me because £5 for premium Netflix tier I would pay, but it's £17 is more my point.
Yeah, isn't it £17.99? So it was £18. Anyway,
I pay about £5. That's because you get it through other things that you pay lots of money for.
Notes to stay on track. I feel like I have less this week.
I also do, not because it's not in the Tomb Stop, because I will find you and I will just end you for getting such cheap streaming services. Not because I didn't enjoy it, and there was just not as much to say like there was with Black.
Yeah, it's hard to like talk about specific things because of the stuff that makes it enjoyable and good is kind of like a bit more encompassing.
Well, yeah, and also I was just enjoying it too much to keep picking up. My phone.
That,
Whereas with Black Widow, it was just I've got nothing to fucking say.
My notes are also very vague.
Oh yeah. My notes are ridiculous. Of course they are. My first one is all movies being an IMAX ratio should be law.
My first note is everything looks better in IMAX. Because the whole movie is in IMAX ratio and it looks fucking good. Even there's a few like weird green screen things and stuff.
Yeah, but that's because this was in the era where Marvel started really shafting the
I
budget.
don't mean this particularly as a criticism. Just like even with that, it still looks fucking great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks so good. There's so much. This film looks really, really good, and a lot of it's really well shot as well. Some really nice cinematography work in it.
Agreed. This was still in the era where they cared.
Yeah.
So there's that. My next note is the bus. Oh, daddy, the bus.
I have notes prior to the bus.
I don't know. There isn't. Yeah, fair.
But the bus, because I put bus fight is so fucking good, and the bus fight is excellent. Like that fights. There's so much that makes it good. So the film starts and you get that kind of like here's some backstory of the guy from the 10 Rings, and I've written 10 Rings are cool because like showing you him using them and stuff. I think they're a really cool weapon and the power of them and stuff.
They
really
are.
cool.
I'm not a huge fan of because I know what the actual 10 Rings are. So I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they're just this vague force field.
Okay, fair enough.
Thing because what they are is they're actual rings. They're not bracelets.
Right.
But which neither here nor there, but they each do something different, like fire, water, air, electricity, like all that sort of stuff, and then you could use them together. And
I
all that sort
I
of
guess
stuff.
though, like they could do that later on because obviously they've changed now. By the end, spoilers.
They just became orange.
They became orange, but also like Wong says, like
they emitted a signal.
yeah, but not until Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that they could evolve, or it could be as simple as that his dad was too single-minded to get everything out of him, and that Shang-Chi is going to be like, hang on, this can do more than that. There's more to them, and it's just a case of him developing and evolving him.
Entirely possible.
But it's a fair complaint.
Yeah. And we won't know until we're all dead because Simu Liao has gone on record complaining about the fact that Marvel just won't move forward with Shang-Chi 2.
Yep. That's because Marvel don't know what they're doing.
No. Although, positive news that Kevin Feige has gone full fucking tyrant.
He should have done that fucking...
Years ago, yeah. But literally firing... pretty much fucking everyone from Daredevil. Did you see what they had done, though?
No.
What the script was. So we didn't see Daredevil until episode 4.
Problem.
They killed Karen and Foggy off screen before
problem.
the show started.
Bigger problem.
So, like, he's gone AWOL because of their deaths. That's the beginning of the show. And it's like... You could argue there are 3 main characters in the main series of Daredevil, the Netflix show. Don't kill 2 of them
off screen.
Is 4 main characters, Kingpin. But yeah, don't kill 2 of them off screen. And basically Kevin Feige just went, "This is shit. You're all fired. We're starting again."
And that's fair.
I agree. And they kind of let slip why none of the shows have been good or structured properly.
I've seen this as well, yeah.
Because they didn't fucking approach them like shows. They approached them like a movie, and they just went all in, and they didn't do pilots,
but they
didn't get showrunners.
We kind of knew that, because our complaint about every show was this should have been a movie. And
but you can say that about shows that were done like that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you think about it, it's obvious in hindsight.
For sure,
because it's like, well, of course it's like a movie. They wrote it and approached it as a movie.
Yeah.
And we did say, we said, like you and I said, when we were doing the weekly shows, talking about all those, we said, like, they just don't know how to write a TV series. They don't know how to make a TV series, and this is the evidence of that. What he needs to do, what Kevin Feige and what Marvel and what Disney need to do, is they need to go to people that are like accomplished and accredited for making successful TV shows. And
yep.
Here, you're a showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Do this show, and you know what you're doing. Now you go do it. And Kevin Feige doesn't know how to make TV shows either. No. And that's not me going, "Oh, Kevin Feige doesn't know how to make TV." He's not a TV producer. He's not a showrunner. That's not what he is.
He's a movie producer.
Why would he know that?
He's not a movie director either.
Yeah.
It's like he's on the business end. He's a producer.
But what he needs to do is recognize, is like, I don't have this skill set. I need to go to people that do have this skill set and trust them.
Yeah.
But he hasn't gone to people with that skill set. He's just gone to, I've seen that person make.
He's just gone to people and said, make a 6-hour movie.
Yeah.
And then, like, there are reasons movies aren't 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. Movies don't really have a good point to just stop, because things need to be structured episodically. Like, the episode needs to wrap up. There can't just be a moment where you go.
But that was another thing we had complained about when we were talking about the shows, that many of them were written as if Act 1, 2, and 3 were spread over all 6 episodes, when actually each episode needs an Act 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because each episode needs to be its own standalone thing to a degree. For
sure, yeah. It doesn't need to have necessarily like a story beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, it doesn't need a start, conclusion, end. But yeah,
it needs a structural beginning, middle, and end. But yeah, they just didn't. And this makes sense. And there's a perfect person to come and do the fucking show run Daredevil. And it's the showrunner for Daredevil?
Yeah.
Like,
that highly successful show.
Yeah, he's even gone on, like, that guy has publicly complained about the fact that the way they're doing it, because it is a bit shady, the way they've done. Holding P for 6 hours, now that would be a challenge. Aren't you sub 20? What do you mean holding P for 6 hours? Is that a challenge? In the cinema it is. I grant, because I think...
That's because you've got a 5 litre
glass of Coke. I can't not go... I've got nothing on. I've watched a lot of TV in the last few days. And I can sit there, like... I've woken up, had a stretch, had some breakfast. It's dark. What's happened? Why am I on episode 10 of this 10-episode, hour-long each episode show? And be like, I haven't peed all day. No, not like there's a puddle in the bed sense, but...
But you would have peed.
Well, yeah, good point.
That would have been not peeing all day.
Yeah.
That would have just been you.
I haven't gone to the
toilet. Anyway, Marvel's a mess. Hopefully they fix it. Shang-Chi.
Indeed.
I've said about 10 Rings. I like the 10 Rings, and I like the opening of it, and that it presents all to you and the power of them, and getting his dad and whatnot. I then wrote, before we talk about the bus, I appreciate, I don't think this is her name. Is Awkwafina funny?
No.
And is that her name, or is it?
It is Awkwafina.
It's Awkwafina. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Something about her name. I just keep forgetting it. Awkwafina or Awkwafina.
Yeah, whatever. But, is she funny? No.
No, not at all.
She is brazen and fucking irritating.
Yeah.
Her sense of comedy is...
To be fair. You do that sometimes.
No, I shout words. I emphasize words. I drink water all the time. I just have bladder control. My prostate's okay. Like, what? I drink a lot. I am never not drinking.
This show is chaos.
They're advising me on my health. I'm king health right now. Like, that's literally all I give a fuck about at the moment, because I've got nothing else to do, so I may as well focus on not dying, although I don't know why I'm doing that.
New t-shirt, I'm king health right now.
We only do it in 4XL.
So the bus fight becomes cool on a number of levels, because what you've had so far in this film is introduction to the 10 Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then a brief introduction to Shang-Chi, but you don't really know anything about him. And that bus fight is an awesome fight scene that's really well shot, really well choreographed. But also it just goes like straight into, this guy's fucking sick. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't have that normal origin thing of him realizing he's talented and realize he can do stuff. And I've got this power now, or having to come to terms with the fact that if he puts his mind to it, he can be this incredible, like, kung fu master or something. No, he just is.
He is. Yeah.
We don't know that yet. No one else knows, but he is, and he just switches on because he needs to, and just is, and dominates that fight. He's in control of most of the whole fight. He knows what he's doing. He's one step ahead of everyone. He's smart. He uses his environment really well around him. And my big compliment in this film when we last spoke about this was the Jackie Chan-ness to it, and obviously we know that the fight choreography team were Jackie Chan's fight team, the Jackie Chan stunt team. And that sings all the way through the film with, like, there are some fight sequences that's basically out of Rush Hour with the bamboo one. But it also, in terms of the way that they use the environment in the fight choreography and use slapstick comedy in the fight choreography, is very Jackie Chan, and it works. It's entertaining it's really entertaining to watch. The fact that he uses the bus and uses the guy's arm as his own weapons and stuff like that, and like it creates for really good entertainment to watch it. And it's such a good introduction to who Shang-Chi is. And it has got some great cinematography. The shot in particular from outside the bus. Tracks.
Yeah.
It's
and
just
throwing
really
the guy
good.
out the window. That was an even harder slap than the Far From Home one. It was literally a slap, and he goes out the window, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's great. And then the fucking thing where he runs and slides across the top of the bus, swings
that was
off.
That was practical.
I know,
as well,
and
which is
he
insane.
did too.
Yeah. Obviously, the bus wasn't going down a hill at 40 miles an hour in San Francisco, but it was.
And it's just great.
Where the fuck was Ant-Man?
What?
Ant-Man is the only other character to reside in San Francisco. You would think
he's up to something. What's he doing at that point? I can't remember what he's up to. Oh, he's stuck in the thing. No, he's not.
No, he's not. This is past. This is.
I don't remember what happens to Ant-Man.
It's the MCU problem in that. Where were the Avengers in Winter Soldier? One of the biggest threats that could have possibly happened without alien invasion.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it's great. That bus fight scene.
I agree.
About
My only question with the bus fight. My only question. Where are we in time? We're after Endgame, so this would be 20. At the very minimum, it would be 2023, because that's when everybody comes back.
Yeah,
but it depends how long it's been since then. They don't really say.
No, somewhere around 2023, 2024, but it's not very clear.
Yeah, it's all up in the air.
Oh, and I'm sure they'll retcon it at some point anyway. I
think it's 2024 because I'm pretty sure No Way Home and Hawkeye are in 2024. Or are they a year apart? I can't fucking remember. But my only question is, it says, on my signal, turn right. Do hard right.
I know where you're going here.
And the only reason that worked is because the back half of a bus collided with a construction site that he didn't know was there.
Yeah, but he may not have known it was going to work. He may have thought just a hard right turn right, and it will mean that this guy then goes flying that way because of a hard right turn, as opposed to the crash.
I don't think but it was more... He clearly wanted... His thought process, I thought it was pretty clear that he wanted to disconnect the bus. But the only reason that worked was because of an unforeseeable unforeseeable thing.
But maybe he thought just the hard right angle will be enough to then brake at that point.
Yeah, I know, but then it's just incredibly convenient.
Incredibly convenient, yeah. It would have gotten away with... It could have done with just a cutaway to him going, well, that was lucky.
Well, yeah. Or just not have the construction thing there and have his plan work.
Yeah. Yes, that actually would have been better.
Yeah. Like, just don't have that construction. I feel like that was really weird. Mm-hmm. I also think if you have the options of going over 15 cars or just into the back of one fucking fortified bin lorry.
The bin lorries.
Do the bin lorry?
Yeah. Because what's going to happen is you're going to hit it. That driver's going to go, the fuck? And brake. Yeah. I agree. That would have been a more sensible thing to do, but...
To be fair to Aquafina, though, that is asking to have a fortified bin lorry here. So I understand. But to answer your question initially, and again, no, she's not funny.
No.
I don't necessarily take issue with her in this movie. Like, I don't mind her being there.
None of her comedy lands.
She's the comedic relief and isn't fucking funny.
Yeah, the comedy that lands we get later. The comedic relief that actually is funny, I think, is later on.
Yeah, it's Trevor.
Yeah,
100%. Well, it's Morris.
Yes.
But anyway, my next note is Death Dealer's suit is dope.
Yes, it is. I didn't write that.
The character is pointless, but the suit is dope.
Yeah, well, I put building fight is so fucking good.
That's a couple notes away for me there. The other ones are quick. I speak ABC just pleased me as a line.
Yep, that's a good line.
And so begins the downfall of Wong was my next thing. Because from here on out they overuse Wong and make him shit. And make all of it... Well, they don't make him shit. They just put him in shit.
It's fine in No Way Home.
Yeah, because he's there for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But, then you find out all of this. Like, this is a big...
I vaguely remember having vague issue with him in Doctor Strange 2. I can't remember what, though.
That he's kind of just...
He's kind of just useless in Multiverse of Madness. And then we don't talk about She-Hulk.
Yeah, like, this was this big, like, what the fuck are they doing? And it just turns out, like, nothing really.
She-Hulk is what they were doing. It's like, unbelievable.
All that stuff with Wong and that random drunk party girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's fucking unbearable. Everything about She-Hulk. I want to erase She-Hulk from my memory. And what they did to my boy, Daredevil. Oh my God. Just fucking... I hope the writers have died. And then I put the scaffolding, oh daddy, the scaffolding.
Yeah, and it's that... But it's the scaffolding sequence, again, obviously it's out of... Yeah, that's the one that is like very Rush Hour inspired, and that's fine. That's not a bad thing because that fucking sequence in Rush Hour is really fucking good. But that whole, it's not just a scaffolding fight. When they then get inside and the fight he has with, you just said his name and it's gone completely blank. The guy with the cool suit.
Oh, Death Dealer.
Death Dealer, yeah. The fight he has with him is excellent. That fight is really, really good, and again, beautifully shot. Great choreography. I love all of it. I think it's so good. Obviously, there's so much going on with it. It's great. It's just such a good watch, and he's good all the way through it. He's so good to watch. I'm a big fan. And
the club was cool, and his site is kick-ass.
Hannah said...
What do you mean?
I don't remember site, but she said earlier on in the chat that his abs looked excellent or something, and yes, they did.
Oh, yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
He looks great. He has a large percentage of shirtless time in...
you were going for a brief second.
a large percentage of shirtless time in Barbie as well.
Oh, perfect. Maybe I should watch that.
I mean, do you know what was really funny? Was going from Secret Invasion to Barbie. Because the villain of Secret Agent is one of the Kens.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely different performance. And it was just very amusing. And, excuse me, it's just this actor that I've never seen before as well. Just seeing him back to back on both ends of the scale. It was just very funny. This is very funny. But that's acting.
Yes.
And then my next note is, I haven't written anything for a while. So have you got anything after the scaffolding?
It's a little bit of a while before my next note.
Mine's not until the prison.
Yeah, mine's also not until the prison.
Oh, my next note is Praise Morris.
Mine is Trevor and Morris are wonderful.
Yeah. Not really a lot happens between there. There's a lot of waffling
with them. They're just there as a comic.
No, I don't mean that. I meant before. So to build up to this point, not a lot happens. There's this.
You get some exposition. It's exposition bit for us.
A weird water map thing that's cool. We find out why he wanted the pendants, and we find out that he's a fucking lunatic.
Yep. But I really liked the almost. It's kind of a correction and a retcon, but like him explaining the whole. Hey, someone hired this guy, and
they did that a long time ago, to be fair. But yeah, you get the full explanation
of why we had the Mandarin. But what I like about it, obviously, he talks about the fact that they hired an actor and called him the Mandarin, and makes a joke about the fact he's named after a chicken dish, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But then obviously you then get later on, and then he's Mandarin's there, and it's just been taken by him, and I think that. The fact that he's there works really well because he's acknowledged him. Because if he hadn't acknowledged him, then someone would be like, what the fuck's he? But like as soon as you see him, it's
that would have been. You would be expected to have seen Hail to the King at that point, which is a very niche part of the MCU. Very early in the MCU, they used to do these things called one shots.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty good, to be fair.
They are good, yeah.
There's a few that involve Coulson, which are highly entertaining.
Anything that involves Coulson is very good.
That's true. My favourite one is the one where he just stops at a petrol station on the way to... So between Iron Man 2, on his drive to New Mexico for Thor, there's a one shot where he has to stop at a petrol station, and there's some guy who decides to rob the petrol station with Coulson there, and he just fucks him up with a bag of flour and things like that. And then doesn't mention it and just... carries on about his day. And I was just like, yeah, fucking Coulson. There's one about this couple that find one of the Chitauri guns and use it to rob banks. One of them is that Ben Kingsley, Trevor is in prison after Iron Man 3. He's there with Sam Rockwell from Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Also, bring back Sam Rockwell. You can do that. Are they for Armor Wars? They should for Armor Wars if they're not. I've thought of it and it was a good idea. Therefore, Marvel aren't going to do it because it's a good idea. So that's where we are with them at the moment. But Trevor gets broken out of prison and he's basically told that the real Mandarin wants to speak with him. And so it wasn't so much of a surprise if you've seen that, but it's still fucking excellent. The reveal is so good. It's just like, oh, Trevor Slattery.
He's so funny. I mean, he's funny in Iron Man.
I'm an actor.
He is so funny. And then when Morris comes out...
The monkeys were just acting like they were riding horses.
I love how they just humour him. Like, right, okay, yeah, sure. I still don't quite understand it. Oh, but when Morris comes out, I love... There's... The gag about Morris that I really enjoy is just like, he comes out like, what the fuck is that? He's like, you can see Morris. He's like, oh, you're real. I just love the idea that he's just assumed he's hallucinated this thing. And just gone with it. He's not only has he assumed he's hallucinated it, he's just gone, I'm going to make it my best friend. And seemed genuinely elated that his best friend was real. That's so funny to me.
Where's his face? He's a bit sensitive about that. He is absolutely the funniest part of this movie, but like
loads of it. He's got loads of really subtle gags that shouldn't be funny, but his delivery of them's really, really good.
Oh, I agree.
Like the one where he's like, "That's a funny looking horse." It's just really funny.
That's a weird horse. Why is it looking at me? Yeah. Oh my God, that bird is on fire. Morris says it's normal. I really love the calm down, lad. It's just a performance. Lie down here with me. He is an Oscar-winning actor, but it wasn't for a role like this. I can tell you that much. It was. Ben Kingsley did not win an Oscar for a comedic performance. What was it for?
I don't know.
Was it Leah?
Oh, he is very funny in it.
I put kidney and Oscar.
Gandhi.
Oh, Gandhi. That makes sense. Yes. I knew it was one of those. How do you say hoity-toity movies?
Well, it was an Oscar-winning movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It is Oscar
Therefore,
bait.
it's probably shit. That's that's how it goes, isn't it? It's won an Oscar, therefore it's got to be from a production level, a technical marvel, but from an entertainment value, it'll be dull as shit.
One last note I've written, I clearly didn't finish writing it, and I don't know what it's in reference to. I clearly didn't finish writing the sentence.
That's hilarious. My next note is carpentry equivalent to a convenient PowerPoint presentation. What? You know, last week I had it's a convenient PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, his wall thing.
Yeah. And they have a wall long enough to explain the entire history of this village, and it was all like carved and things like that.
So I go on.
People do have murals, so it's less weird, but it's just very convenient.
My next three notes are really all about the same thing, which I've just written. Reflection Fight is cool. Great personal story for the MCU, and villain isn't really a villain.
Reflection Fight?
It's vague, but it's all I can think of to remember it. So there's the flashback where after Shang-Chi's mum has died and his dad's taken him.
Oh! In the poker room, or whatever they're doing.
Like his dad just fucks everyone up.
And it just points
the camera,
to the reflection.
the camera just turns around to focus on young Shang-Chi and it happening in the reflection. And it's just a really nice bit of cinematography because the focus is on Shang-Chi. Because the whole point there is he as a young kid is watching his dad slaughter these people and is having to take it in after just watching his mum be slaughtered. So it's focusing on him and what that trauma's like, but it's showing you just in the background still what's happening in a really nice, like visually pleasing way. It's just a really good bit of cinematography. I like it. Yeah,
no, I always like shots like that because you're just like, oh, not only would it have been obviously it's a clever mind to come up with a shot like that, but also a clever team to film a shot like that. But then also you gotta get rid of everyone out of the fucking reflection is still anyway. It's all just more likely that mirror isn't there. It's just green.
Yeah, for sure.
Or blue, and they've just taken the footage from the fight. They filmed the whole fight and then flipped it and put it on the thing. Not to take away from the fact that it's a cool as fuck shot.
Yeah, that's great.
I love shots like that.
And what it does for that scene is really, really good as well.
Yep.
So it's a really good choice. But yeah, I say that it's it's an MCU story which this doesn't really add to the bigger picture, which have used as complaints before, but there's like subtle things as to how it might add the bigger picture in the sense that we're getting introduced to
it expands the world as opposed to specific points and things like that.
It's such a nice, personal, relatable story for that character because it's really just Shang-Chi's. It's about him, really. It's his story and his dad's story, and I like that the villain isn't. The villain isn't a villain like we typically. He's not there for power. He's not there to take over the world. He's there because he wants his wife back. That's his whole motive.
He's already done that, take over the world and gun power. But
so the story we're getting is just he wants his dead wife back, and that's such a relatable. Like people will do anything to get like if I was given the opportunity to get my dead wife back, like there's not much that I wouldn't do, kind of thing. So it's like
you probably wouldn't do it in exchange for in spite of your children.
Maybe, don't know. But that's what makes it an interesting story, though, is that kind of like how far he's being pushed and how twisted he is as a character.
Oh yeah, he's also clearly been driven fucking mad. He's not thinking as a rational human being.
Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting. And I just like that the villain. There becomes a risk of the greater picture as like it's gonna fucking destroy everything, but that's not his intention. So I like that it's like how they're gonna. Oh, this guy's just a prick. Because it's not that this guy's just a prick. It's like this guy's been driven to madness, and all he wants is his dead wife back. And I get that, and that's just it's relatable and it's interesting. And then it creates that kind of conflict that then Shang-Chi has to have with his dad is just.
Richard said, "Sacrifice the children, a day-by-day decision." To be honest, and that's fair. That's fair.
But like that conflict that then Shang-Chi has, and there's that moment where he's talking to Awkwafina's character, and it's just Katie. It's just like he taught me to be a killer, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna kill him. That's what I have to do. And it's not that he wants to do it. You can tell he's like, I don't want to do it, but that's what I'm gonna have to do, and that's what he's taught me to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just find it such an interesting thing of like that personal relationship that really the story is just about the relationship with Shang-Chi and his dad. I just think it's very good and it's different and it's nice to have it, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Something that I thought but I didn't really write down. No, it was quite funny. This is when we're actually in the village now. Do you know what I've never noticed before? Somehow, but when they drive through the waterfall, they come out of like a water portal on the other end. Never noticed that.
Yeah, this weird magic city is weird.
Yeah, but they do say it's in a different dimension, but I always assumed that was like hyperbolic myth stuff, and it was just a village behind a waterfall that people hadn't found before. Not that it genuinely... And I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times. Like, I don't know how I've never noticed that before. I literally said out loud, "The fuck?" When I watched it earlier, I was like... It's not like a Disney Plus version of this movie or anything. I've watched it on Disney Plus. It is fucking weird. I didn't notice. But anyway, the thing... I didn't know. We're in the village and they've got their suits. They've got their armors. Everyone is in red. Shang-Chi's was given one that was sticking with the theme, and then his sister was given one that was uncharacteristically white for some reason.
Yeah.
Everything is red that they use. The dragon scales are red.
Seemingly, she just didn't have dragon scale armor.
Yeah, but it was clearly the same material. It was just white for some reason. And obviously it was so you could, like, you do that and what have you, have different suits for the different characters. Like, but surely the one that should be standing out in the crowd is Shang-Chi. Granted, he's on a dragon.
Yes.
It's quite easy to notice.
Yeah. I liked as well that it was like the mythical Chinese dragon. Like the dragon was how we see the Chinese dragons and all the drawings and stuff like that. And the weird lion dragon things that probably have an actual name.
I thought that as well, and it was very fortuitous that his mum had clothing prepared for them and it fitted.
True. But yeah, whatever those lion dragon things are that they were just knocking around that village, which are quite, again, a cliche kind of Chinese.
The what?
They were like these lion dragon things. Like,
Yeah.
It was just quite cool. Just quite thought it was cool.
Well, yeah, I like it when things...
Food dogs, apparently.
I like when, instead of going completely balls to the walls with these fictional things, they use... We just had a meet cute moment 5 years in. They used mythology and things like that. Yeah. Things that actually, like, to then just, like, well, where do you think these myths and stuff came from?
Yeah.
It's why I love all the weird, when Assassin's Creed gets mental. Because it is all entirely based off of myths and stuff. Like, you get the fucking... If you want to go completely fucking mad, Adam and Eve are an important part of Assassin's Creed. That's a fucking weird thing that... When you started playing Assassin's Creed 1, you never thought that would be a sentence.
About the Apple of Eden, isn't it? So.
Well, it's all about the Apple of Eden, but that you can just point that to a name, like
sure,
based on a story that they would know at that point in time. But it was literally the Apple of Eden that Adam and Eve stole and used it to give humanity free will. So it is fucking mental. We've got a whole conversation about Assassin's Creed later.
I'm concerned we'll be here all night because you are on an Assassin's Creed thing at the moment.
Yeah, I am. Because not all the Norse gods were just Isu. Does that mean Jesus was just an Isu? Like, we've got all this shit. Anyway, I like Assassin's Creed.
I was going to ask you about Shang-Chi. I don't have much of an opinion on this, but I'm intrigued on yours. And we may have discussed it before, but I don't really remember. What is your thought on the big fantasy dragon fight at the end? Because I've heard a lot of people critique the film for that. That it just turns into a big over-the-top CG.
I think it's cool. Like, it's a good spectacle to watch, and I enjoy watching it. I do think, as an overall movie, it loses its way in that part because of that. Taken just the scenes and things like that, I do enjoy it though. I particularly enjoy the fight between Wenwu's people and the village people and that kind of.
That was a different movie. I didn't see that one.
And the Tarlo citizens. Auntie everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoy all of that fight. I do enjoy the dragon stuff. It's cool, but it's
I thought the dragon fight was cool. And
it's just a hard left turn from from the rest of the movie, which I enjoy so much.
I enjoy the final part of the dragon fight actually, like the way Shang-Chi finally takes down that big soul sucker thing.
Oh yeah, it's cool as fuck. Cool. It's cool as fuck. It doesn't matter that it was a dragon that was trying to catch you that you landed on. You're still dead from that height.
Yeah,
that is a movie trope that I would like to end.
Yes,
just because it's something catching you, like in Matrix Reloaded when Neo catches Trinity, jam, jam. Fuck the speed in which he hit her. Dead. The only movie that's addressed it is a piece of shit called Batman vs Superman, where Superman falls under Lois and slows down. He doesn't just and catapult her to the fucking moon. Anyway, but I think it's cool, but I would have preferred if they just fucking reined it in a bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
It would have been a cooler kung fu
It would have been
movie.
nice to see like a big kung fu final fight.
Yeah, exactly. That was the whole thing, even to the point where... Oh, I see. Like his aunt was teaching him how to do things, and he uses that against Wenwu, but then it becomes this dragon v dragon fight, and it's kind of like a lot of just the characters aren't really doing much at that point.
Yeah.
Katie gets completely unrealistic.
That's what my reference was. Don't die.
Oh yeah,
is when she comes out to help, and he looks and goes, "Don't die."
Yeah, and then immediately dies.
And then he dies. Yeah.
I'm not even saying it from a she started learning archery yesterday, you're not making that shot. It was a bow and arrow is physically incapable of making that shot.
Yeah.
You are 8 kilometers away. The fucking tensile strength on that bowstring would need a semi-truck. Why have I gone America? Semi-truck. An HGV to fucking pull it back. To fire it that far. But, yeah, it just becomes... The characters don't do much. Other than...
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, the way it then just literally fucking explodes into messy, sloppy chunks. You see all the blood spurt everywhere, and it's just a different shade of red, so it's allowed.
Yeah.
This world is mental.
Added to the long list of reasons why
this world is mental. God forbid we see a nipple.
Love nipples.
I guess we do.
We do.
We see Shang-Chi's breasticles, but yeah, I would have preferred if it stayed like a really
fair
like kung fu focused movie. But I don't actively dislike it or anything like that. I think it's completely fine. Completely fine. Do I have anything? I must do. Oh, yeah. Shang-Chi's suit is dope, is what I've written as well. Because it is. Despite the fact that it's literally just a scaly t-shirt.
Yeah, but it's cool.
It's a cool scaly t-shirt. He's just wearing his normal trousers and trainers, which I kind of like, to be fair. And then emerge on a dragon like a motherfucking boss.
Yes.
Is all over it. Just emerging from the fucking water. on a Chinese dragon. It's cool as fuck. Hannah said he should have. She's a cunt. I assume that's in reference to Lois Lane.
Yes, it was. I believe.
And she hits a dragon after fighting weird soul suckers, and your issue is the tensile strength of her bow. Well, yeah, I'm in the MCU. If I get,
Can only suspend your disbelief so much.
like,
Hawkeye would have made that shot. Maybe.
Hawkeye has a compound bow, not one made by fucking Genghis Khan in the 1100s.
Yeah, but it was made out of dragon. It was a bow made out of dragon, to be fair.
Were they, or were the arrows made out of the...
I would assume the bow was partly made out of dragon. They seem to use dragon in everything else. Why wouldn't they use it in the bow too?
Because...
Dragon heartstring is the... That's Harry Potter. I'm aware of that, but
I feel like... I don't know. Possibly. But yes, that is my issue. We're watching a movie about... Like, this is after a fucking cock alien came around, snapped his fingers, and half the world disappeared. Like, I'm not fighting their logic on the fact that there are dragons and mystical creatures on a...
I think he was more of a testicle alien than a cock alien.
He had a purple head. So yes, my issue was the bow. It's surely a magical bow. Probably. But I didn't think about it. I was too busy chuckling away at Trevor Slattery and his... I'm not a threat. I am an entertainer.
I hope we get more of him. Do we want to score it? Or have you got anything else you want to say first?
This is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it,
It's a good movie. I don't really have anything particularly bad to say about it.
No, not really. As I say, like, I don't think Awkwafina's funny in this movie, but I also don't think she's a bad character. She's just not doing what she's supposed to be doing in the movie. For me.
I think it becomes a taste thing at that point as well.
It's definitely a taste thing.
Yeah.
She's incredibly successful
yeah.
for being a comedian somehow. But all
right, what are you thinking as a score?
It'll be in the 8s. I think the final bit is why I can't push it to a 9.
I think I think we're saying if it was a 100-point scale, high 8s.
Yeah, it'll be a high 8s. Yeah, but I think the fact that it didn't end on because the fucking bus fight and the scaffolding fight was so fucking good, and all of the stuff like on the ground level of the fight where you see Xiaoling?
Yeah, that was his
Xiaoling.
mum's name.
No, his sister.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's his sister's name. Yeah, that's correct. I'm just being crap.
But with her using the fucking, I don't know what it's called, the one with the fucking mace on one end and a dagger on the other on the rope and fling it around.
A mace dagger.
No, that mace ropey dagger.
Yes.
Look, dagger face. All of that fucking stuff was cool as hell. The fight dance with Wenwu and his and Shang-Chi's mum when they first meet and all of that stuff was really cool.
That also becomes like a throwback because when he's fighting his dad later, they kind of do the same moves, but he's in the same his mum's position at that point. And so it's cool.
And it's
and you can see they use like a lot of the same shots of his dad looking up and realizing and seeing his mum in his son and like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I shouldn't. Almost his dad's been like, I shouldn't have pushed you away. I'm ignoring you. Just ignoring you. Just ignoring you.
But all of that stuff is so good, and I feel like if the finale focused on that, we'd be talking 9s.
I agree.
If not even broaching a 10. But
in which case?
But I think it brings it down. So a 9.
A 9?
A 10. No.
What's happening? I thought we were agreeing on an 8.
I meant to say 8. I meant 8. I got it wrong twice. I don't know how. Where? Bring up the ranking.
Oh, ranking.
At number 1, we have Infinity War, the Civil War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Oh god, that if we were successful, imagine the comments we'd get on that. Ultron being above the first Avengers. At number 8, Far From Home.
I stand by that.
I also stand by it. At number 9, Homecoming. Number 10, Iron Man 3. Oh, Iron Man 3 being above Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Would be flayed. At number 11, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 12, Ant plus Wasp. Iron Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Thor, Gothica 2, Iron Man 2, Captain America, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor. The Dark World. I think this
is hard.
Yeah.
This is where it's getting harder now. This is a harder one. I'm not sure. Because it's like some of it's quite hard to compare to some of these movies to like rank against
They're
them.
very different.
Yeah. They're good for different things. Let's like right, let's work through it from a like
Top down. Is it better than Infinity War?
No. Civil War, no. Endgame, no. Ragnarok, no. Winter Soldier, no. Ultron, I would say no. I think Avengers, I'd say no, personally. Would you agree?
Probably.
Or you sound hesitant.
I don't know. Avengers is obviously really good, but a lot of it, I think like the first half of it, I can leave at any given point now because it's the 6th origin movie in a row, and a lot of that. The Battle of New York on its own is top fucking tier everything. Like I don't care what anybody says. The score, the effect. I still think Iron Man's suit has never looked better than when he's on the floor after the nuke. Like effects wise, and seeing him without the helmet and the suit together, and the shot at the very end where they're confronting Loki.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah. But his suit hasn't, since then, 11 years ago,
it
had never looked better.
There's some pretty bold claims coming in from the chat in terms of where it goes.
Guardians of the Galaxy should be 10. Well, we're not reorganising anything.
I think he's
but,
just saying where he would...
it's above Iron Man 3, I think. It's whether or not it's above the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, because Hannah's saying 10. It's difficult because I think they're quite different movies, and I'm trying to think of what would I prefer to watch. Because I watched Shang-Chi 2 days ago, my brain's like, you'd prefer to watch Iron Man over Shang-Chi. But would I? I don't know. Trying to work that out. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it would be above the Spider-Man. I think that's what it is. I don't think it would be above the Spider-Man. 10 might be a shout. Because I
definitely wouldn't be above Far From Home. You know what? No. Just because of Michael Keaton, it won't go above.
Yeah, Homecoming I think is a better
either.
Movie in general as well, because you got that great villain twist and the reveal and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Iron Man 3. I do really like Iron Man 3. But I would say it is better. Shang-Chi is better than Iron Man 3 because you get the payoff of Trevor Slattery.
Yeah.
As opposed to... I actually think Trevor Slattery is a detriment to Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Because the Mandarin, like the fake Mandarin, was such a good villain. So the twist was, even though it is quite funny and there are funny moments from it, it's kind of like, oh, I wanted to see where the villain went.
Yeah.
But then it became Guy Pearce, and no one gives a fuck about Guy Pearce. Not even Guy Pearce. So yeah, I'd
10 seems about right, doesn't it? I think 10.
I'd say 10. Yeah.
All right, we're going to do it. In 10th, then, above Iron Man 3. So that brings Iron Man 3 down to 11. So top 10 movie. Shang-Chi is a top 10 MCU movie at the moment.
Give that 2 weeks. I think that'll change.
But almost certainly. I don't know if in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the upcoming films?
Eternals of No Way Home.
Oh, is No Way Home in the next 2 weeks? Oh, then yes, it'll move out of it.
Yeah, it's Eternals next
Only
week.
by default, I think it'll move out of it. But
well, yes, that's the only way it can move.
You're right. What I mean is, I don't think No Way Home's going in number 10.
No, it's going above that. Yeah.
So yeah.
So it'll drop out of the...
Oh, there you go. It's coming down to the bad of the Trevor Slatterys.
Yeah, so
there you go then.
Did we add last? Did we do last? Oh yeah, Black Widow's
I did it.
Yeah,
I did it before you got here.
It just threw me off because we don't know. It's usually part of the setup.
It was part of the setup. I just did it before you arrived.
No, I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think it would only be No Way Home out of all the movies. No, that's not true. I think we've got. I think out of everything we've got more. I think we've got 2 top 10s.
Yeah.
Left. Yeah, I think we've got 2 top 10s and 1 top 12 to 15 in there. Because I think
Multiverse of Madness.
No, Wakanda Forever as well.
Oh yeah, I haven't rewatched it since the cinema, so I don't really remember it.
I remember really liking it at the time. So
I'm looking forward to doing the rewatch. I haven't rewatched that, and I haven't rewatched Guardians. So and then we've got Captain Marvel's in a couple of weeks, haven't we?
The Marvels is in a couple of weeks.
Obviously, we won't be. I don't think we'll be talking about it.
We'll do it when it
in the same
slots
way with Guardians.
in. Yeah.
We'll do it when it slots in.
We'll do it when it slots in. Well, we might have to wait a while. Purely because for the home release.
It'll be a couple of months before it hits.
Yeah. So there'll be a gap.
It'll be the new year probably. As
100%. Because we'll need to wait for it to come to Disney Plus, which probably won't be until next year anyway. Yeah. We're not just gonna. I'll watch it in the cinema, but we're not just gonna go off of that months later.
I'm honestly not entirely sure if I will watch it in the cinema.
That's fair enough. I will. I have an unlimited card. Though,
yeah, it's mainly because it's going to be an expense for me, and I've decided I hate the cinema. So.
I only like the cinema if I'm going to IMAX.
Yeah, and I'm not paying that money.
That's fair.
I'm just not doing it.
That's fair.
I'm not desperate to see the Marvels either. So.
No, I'm not desperate to see anything Marvel make ever again.
No, somehow, I hate it. Tom Whittle was over the other night, friend of the channel, Witsman for those in the Discord, just for a catch up, and we was talking about the MCU, and we were just talking about how it's a shame. It's such a shame.
It is a shame because they just got fucking greedy.
Because
That's
all
it was.
So good, and we were talking about Endgame and the payoffs in Endgame and how good it all is, and why it's good, and because you get the fucking 10 years of build up to it, and it works so well, and it was so well written to bring to these moments, and it became really emotional, watching it in the cinema and watching this movie. And Tom's not the biggest fan of the MCU. And he never really kept up to date with them as they were coming out. He just sort of watched them. Mm-hmm. And he saw them all, but he wasn't I must see this in the cinema, I must keep up with this. But even he was even watching Endgame now, after seeing it, still get this weird emotional, goosebumpy, holy shit, it was so well done, and they just haven't got that back. So, although this was Wednesday night, I met up with Tom. He came over here. Camilla was in Manchester for work. He came over here, and we were just chilling and chatting and a couple of drinks and whatnot. And about 10 minutes, this conversation was just before he was about to leave. It was 10 minutes before he was about to leave. It was 11:30 at night. He went, "Yeah, I've not even seen Shang-Chi yet." And I was like, "You could have fucking said that 3 hours ago. I need to watch that this week. We could have sat here and watched it together." And of course, he should have known that I needed to watch it, so it's his fault.
I'm surprised, considering you were talking about the MCU, that it just didn't come up.
Well, it did. It just came up as he was due to leave.
Well, yeah, fair. But yes, it is a fucking shame because they just got greedy and they thought more. They didn't plan out anything, and the tiny bit that they did plan out didn't apply to everything.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of mess in and out there. Loads of threads that were teed up and then just never fucking touched again because people didn't like what they were selling. It's taken fucking forever. It's been over 2 years and there's no even whiff of a production start date on a sequel to one of the best movies they've done since Endgame, which is fucking mental. And yet we've got a fucking dog shit season 2 going on at the moment. And they've got What If season 2
To be
planned.
fair, the first episode of Loki that I watched was alright. It was okay. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It picks up from season 2 really, really well. And it's season 1 really, really well, and was actually quite entertaining. Or I found it entertaining. Was this could build nicely. We'll see. I haven't seen the second episode yet. But Sammy had good things to say about it in Discord.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it that it wasn't completely awful though? That was Sammy's good things to say about it.
That's a really good compliment for current MCU.
To be fair, there's only two shows that are completely awful. And that is What If and She-Hulk.
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
Yeah, they're fucking dog shit. And one of them was the only thing that they've continued with. fucking Nora. The things that you could continue with and build of and actually have as like being these decent things on the side with fucking Moon Knight and things like that. Like, Jesus wept. And you're not touching that. You got one of the fucking best actors you've ever had, and you're just like, yeah.
In Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like there's that one sequence. There's one moment in that fucking show where he does that switch.
Yeah.
So good.
Even when it's clearly just a computer man, and like it's the Mr. Knight with the 3-piece suit up against the bus, and he switches, and just the hood emerges. I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna give this a wank later. Like, goodness me. Like,
by the time I'm finished, his suit's gonna be even whiter.
Goodness me. But like, focus on that, and then get Daredevil, right? For fuck's sake. No matter what you do, if you never make anything again.
To be fair, at the moment, it seems as though their intention is to get Daredevil right.
Yeah, that's true. Get Blade right. Move down.
Haven't they done something with that as well? Didn't that get like put on hold or something? I'm sure I read something about Blade or show or
because people kept leaving because it was so shit.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
directors kept leaving or something.
No, we'll see.
So like, get that right. You could You have Doctor Strange, who's like probably the biggest character you've got left in not in terms of actors and prominence that you've put them forward in this world. At the moment, and you can bring in Moon Knight, and you can bring in Blade, and you can bring do a Ghost Rider, get Ghost Rider in there, and go down this. You've done Werewolf by Night. Lean into that half of the MCU for a while, even if that's what you focus on in terms of like TV or whatever. Lead into the weird and mystical and supernatural and what have you side of everything, and then you've got like the movie like. We've said this a million times, but the MCU's problem is there's a complete lack of fucking focus on anything. Like, what has the Marvels got to do with fucking anything that's happened other than Miss Marvel?
Well, at this point, what it's doing is
picking
tying
up like WandaVision and the Marvels, and it's tying them together. But why is Miss Marvel the only show that's coming into the movies?
Let's try that again.
Why is Ms. Marvel the only shows that they're focusing on bringing into the movies?
Yeah.
Like,
we'll continue to give it time, especially as like so much of the.
I don't know how much time I'm gonna.
Well, but I mean, like,
to give it.
The projects are all on hold and being changed, so it's like an element of me was like, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because we don't have a full release schedule. We like the things that they did announce are all being re-looked at.
So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. That for
but
once.
They do. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like they're clearly course correcting, and them course correcting means there is an opportunity for them to make it right and fix it. That doesn't mean they will. Doesn't mean they're likely to. Like, I'm not holding out much hope, but it's fair to give them the benefit of the doubt. They did well enough for long enough that I'm still going to go, maybe this is just a blip. And, the most recent movie, we haven't spoken about it officially on the channel, but we did say Guardians 3 was really, really good.
It is.
And this is a Phase 4 movie that we've just scored an 8 and have put in the top 10. And we've just discussed that there are 2, Guardians being one of them, but 2 coming up that could also fall in top 10 movies. So, like, there is still good content there. Hawkeye, we said, was really good.
Hawkeye is really good, yeah. But there is still stuff there, but it's not...
That good stuff is being buried by trash.
Yeah, and it's not MCU. It's just Marvel. I'm kind of at a point where I would probably prefer that they just stop. And not... That's just asking a fucking billion-dollar industry to just stop making money. But I mean, stop the MCU. Just make like solo trilogies. Like, this is a trilogy of movies.
Yeah, I think we discussed that when Endgame ended. Is like how I remember we had the discussion of like how are they gonna. I love he said don't derail the chat, and we both immediately stopped talking.
Because this is physically impossible to do without derailing the chat. I'm just throwing that out there. You've asked me to stop talking, grab a remote, and change colour. Do you think I can do that and talk at the same time? Have you met me?
Have you noticed that? Just to prove it, he's talking and hasn't changed the colour. Just to prove. But anyway, I don't know what you wanted to test. I'm intrigued to know what your results are. What was I saying? Endgame. We said like topping what they did with the Infinity Saga was going to be nigh on fucking impossible. So maybe just don't. Maybe just go, that was that. And now we're going to do something else entirely. Like, we're not going to have this continued universe anymore. I say big trilogy movies, stuff like that.
Yeah, just make like, or even if you did go down the TV show route, just like don't try and, because I think the ones that were the best ones, like, were technically connected, but only in a fucking vague way.
Well, I think the thing is that like it's clear they don't have a grand plan. Or at least didn't.
They had one, but it was it wasn't grand enough.
But yeah,
they had, because it's the multiverse. We're apparently in the fucking multiverse saga.
We do know that, you know, the Infinity Saga started, and it started before Disney had it. So there absolutely would have been an intention, like, you know, those movies are clear were building to Avengers from the first one because they were setting it all up.
They said that at Comic-Con before.
And it was obvious that the Infinity Saga was the intention because they're setting it up in Avengers.
Yeah. Like, Thanos was the intent from very early on because he's in the post-credit scene of.
So they knew their beginning, and they probably knew roughly where they were going to go as an end. But I 100%, they didn't have every femto deal figured out. They didn't know what the last two Avengers movie were going to be. They probably didn't know it was going to be a two-part Avengers movie. Because like we also know from the way they've spoken about it that like these individual directors and writers had big parts in creating those and conceptualizing those and changing it from when Joss Whedon left and stuff like that. You know, so it will evolve and change as it goes along, and the finer details will be worked out. But this current phase on Saga so far just feels like they've gone, I guess we'll do something with the multiverse because we could do anything, and then haven't actually had anything. Like Infinity Saga was, well, we know we'll do Thanos and we'll do the Infinity Stones. How we do it, neither here nor there. This is just, we could do anything, and then they haven't got a plan.
It was clearly Kang from very early on.
But like Rich says it there, has the current phase been screwed with Jonathan Major issues?
I don't think so.
No, because the problems were there before the Jonathan Major issues. The problems exist also, prior to that. So,
like, on a bottom level, there are no Jonathan Major issues. It's kind of...
It's press is the Jonathan Major issues. That's about it at the moment.
Yeah. But also they clearly don't care that much because he's the villain of Loki.
Yes.
Season 2. So that thing I sent you earlier. Oh my lord.
Again.
I only sent you one today.
Yeah, but you sent so many, it blended into one. And to be honest, did I react? I might not have watched it. I don't know.
It wasn't a video.
Oh.
And yes, you did react. It was the season 2 of Loki. Initially didn't plan Kang as the villain. They decided after first season's success and praised Jonathan Majors. Fuck yourself, was that a case? That was... Jonathan, like, the Kang was the most fucking teed up villain I've ever seen other than Thanos. Like, Jesus. But next court date is 23rd of October. They're not making any decision until he's proven guilty. If there is a very, from what I've seen, I haven't really spent much time looking into it. It's a very big if.
I don't know enough about it to make any formal comment.
Yeah, it's like they've got nothing.
But in terms of has it screwed I mean, going forward, maybe we don't know yet. But in terms of what we've had so far, no, because the problems existed with it before the Jonathan Majors thing started. So it just feels like many of the pieces of content they made didn't have a goal or weren't aiming to anything and just felt like a mismatch, and they didn't know what they wanted to do with it, and they were just making content for content's sake, which is proven by the sheer amount of content and the fact that Kevin Feige has come out and said, we did too much, going to pull this back. Like, and it's clearly they are course correcting. We'll give them a chance. But should we talk about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
All right, well, don't go anywhere because we're going to end this show for the YouTubes, but then we'll be right back to do a special episode of Press Start, and we're going to talk about explicitly Assassin's Creed Mirage.
That's me with my hidden blade.
Ching, ching. Are you gonna end the show in the show, or do you want me just to press a button?
We haven't done rigmarole in like years.
I didn't say anything about rigmarole, but I don't know if you were going to say bye or anything like that, or if you were just going to wave. And the thanks for watching until next time thing. I just don't know. I don't know what you want to do. It's your show.
It's just watch it. Watch things. Just stick around for Press start. I'm sure.
Oh, movie next week, The Eternals, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Next week. I'm very sorry. I would recommend that if you've seen it before.
Don't watch it again.
Will there be a non-spoiler? Let me tell you. There's fucking nothing to spoil in terms of that. So
it will also be non-spoiler because I've not finished a campaign, so it will be non-spoiler in that sense. And I imagine we'll be able to have a pretty. What?
Just some of the major things I would want to talk about is the end of the story.
Oh, I see. I've not finished a campaign. I've not had a chance.
I'll have very little to say about Assassin's Creed.
I've done 23 hours. I'm doing my best.
Do better.
But there's a lot. There'll be a lot to talk. There'll be a lot to talk about still. I think with the game. That's like we'll be able to have like a general spoiler-free review discussion. So, but to find out exactly what discussion we're going to have, be back here in just a few minutes.
What was what?
I think the is what he was questioning.
Oh, I see. Not you saying ugh. You were repeating my ugh. I'm obviously being facetious. I still have a lot to say about Assassin's Creed. In which case, no, there won't be any spoilers. Because anyway, so yeah.
We will see you in a minute. Thank you for watching. Until next time, we shall see you then.